You wake up and something feels wrong. The air is still. Too still. No distant traffic. No hum of airplanes. No voices. You grab your phone. No signal. No notifications. No emergency alerts. You step outside expecting chaos, but instead you find silence. Cars are parked exactly where they were left. Doors hang open. A bicycle lies on its side in the street. But there is no one. Not a single person. At first it almost feels unreal, like the world paused while you were asleep. You walk further. Shops are unlocked. Lights are still on. A television flickers inside an empty house. That's when it hits you. You are alone. Completely alone. For a moment it feels freeing. No obligations. No expectations. No deadlines. The world is yours. You can drive any car. Enter any building. Take anything you want. But that excitement fades quickly because the silence isn't peaceful. It's heavy. You realize something bigger has happened. Every human being is gone except you. Now your brain shifts from curiosity to survival. You check utilities. Electricity still works. Water still runs. That's because modern infrastructure doesn't collapse instantly. Power grids are automated. Backup systems activate automatically. But automation only lasts so long. Most power plants require human oversight. Nuclear reactors especially depend on active cooling systems. There are more than 400 nuclear reactors operating globally. Without trained engineers monitoring pressure and cooling levels, systems will eventually fail. Not today, not tomorrow, but soon. You now understand you are on borrowed time in certain regions. You drive through the city. It feels frozen in time. Planes sit idle at airports. Trains stop mid-route. Grocery stores fully stocked. For now, resources are abundant. You can eat anything, take anything, but you also know perishable food won't last. Refrigeration depends on electricity. When the grid finally fails, frozen food will rot within days. And once water treatment facilities shut down, tap water will become contaminated. You begin thinking long-term. You're not just surviving today. You're planning for months, years, maybe decades. But there's something else creeping in. The silence. No voices. No music playing from cars. No human movement. You shout just to hear something. The echo feels unnatural. This isn't freedom. It's isolation. And isolation changes people. Fast. The first day ends with a sunset that feels different. Beautiful but hollow. There is no one to share it with. You are witnessing a world that no longer belongs to humanity. It belongs to you alone. And that realization is both powerful and terrifying. By day 3, subtle changes begin. Power flickers. Internet is gone completely. Without technicians monitoring the grid, small failures cascade into larger blackouts. One city goes dark, then another. Eventually entire regions lose electricity. Water pumps stop. Treatment plants shut down. Without chlorination systems, bacteria multiply quickly. Within days, tap water becomes unsafe to drink. You rely on bottled water, but that supply is finite. You begin storing rainwater, boiling it, filtering it. Survival becomes practical, not hypothetical. Fuel is your next concern. Gasoline degrades in about 6 months. Diesel lasts slightly longer. That means vehicles are temporary tools. Planes and boats will soon be useless. Transportation shrinks to bicycles. Then walking. You relocate to a smaller town away from dense cities. Because cities are becoming unstable. Without maintenance, fires break out from lightning strikes or electrical surges. And there's no fire department coming. Buildings burn unchecked. Smoke rises into empty skies. Nuclear facilities now pose the greatest threat. Backup generators can power cooling systems temporarily, but diesel reserves run out. Some reactors enter automatic shutdown mode safely. Others may not. Even a handful of meltdowns could render entire zones uninhabitable. You consult abandoned libraries for information, engineering manuals, survival guides. You learn more in a week than you ever did in school. But knowledge cannot replace manpower. Infrastructure was built by millions working together. Alone you cannot maintain a city. Nature begins reclaiming space rapidly. Grass pushes through asphalt. Vines climb skyscrapers. Within weeks, animals roam streets. The world is not waiting for humans to return. It is adapting without them. And you are adapting too. You move supplies to a rural house near a freshwater source. You begin planting crops, learning to preserve food. Because canned goods will run out eventually. Ammunition is limited. Hunting requires skill. Mistakes mean hunger. Every decision now has consequences. There are no second chances. The illusion of control you felt on day one is gone. This is not a playground. It's a fragile ecosystem, and you are the only human variable left in it. Months pass. Silence becomes normal. But the world is no longer empty. It's alive in new ways. Without human interference, ecosystems rebalance rapidly. Zoos fail. Animals escape. Domestic dogs form packs. Livestock wander free. Some species flourish without urban noise and pollution. Others collapse without agricultural support. You begin noticing changes in animal behavior. Deer roam highways. Wolves approach suburban neighborhoods. Without humans at the top of the food chain, power dynamics shift. You are no longer dominant. You are vulnerable. A single injury could be fatal. There are no hospitals. No antibiotics being manufactured. Medical supplies expire. You become cautious. Strategic. You fortify shelter. Build barriers. Use fire as protection. But danger isn't just external. Weather becomes more impactful. Storms feel stronger without infrastructure support. Floods go unmanaged. Bridges collapse. Roads erode. Over time, cities become skeletons of steel and glass. Rust weakens beams. Windows shatter. Skyscrapers slowly deteriorate. Within decades, most modern structures would be unrecognizable. Nature is patient. It always wins. But survival is still possible. You grow food. Hunt sparingly. Purify water. Adaptation becomes routine. Yet something else grows alongside resilience. Loneliness. There are no conversations. No shared laughter. No disagreements. No human feedback. Studies before humanity vanished showed prolonged isolation increases stress hormones like cortisol, damages cognitive function, and can lead to hallucinations. You begin talking to yourself more often. Creating routines just to feel structure. Reading books aloud to hear a voice. Because silence isn't just quiet. It's psychological pressure. The human brain evolved for cooperation. For tribe living. For community. Without that, something inside slowly shifts. You survive physically. But mentally, you begin questioning everything. Why continue? What is the purpose of survival without connection? And that question becomes heavier with each passing season. Years pass. You have mastered survival. Food grows in cycles. Water is purified efficiently. Shelter is secure. Physically you endure. But humanity as a concept begins fading. Without shared memory, culture dissolves. Languages vanish when no one speaks them. Music disappears when no one performs it. Libraries decay. Hard drives corrode. Digital data becomes inaccessible without functioning servers. Within a few centuries, almost all evidence of civilization would erode. Skyscrapers collapse. Roads crack apart. Dams fail. Satellites fall from orbit within decades as atmospheric drag pulls them down. Within 1,000 years, most cities would look like forests with scattered ruins. The planet heals. Carbon emissions drop instantly. Wildlife expands. Oceans recover. The Earth does not mourn humanity. It recalibrates. And the universe continues unchanged. The sun will burn for another 5 billion years. The Milky Way will collide with Andromeda in about 4 billion years. None of these events depend on human existence. You are witnessing a truth most never consider. We are not central to the cosmos. We are temporary. But temporary does not mean meaningless. Because meaning was never cosmic. It was human. It existed in conversations, in shared experiences, in communities. Alone, you begin to understand something profound. Survival is not the same as living. You can grow food, build shelter, protect yourself. But without another mind to connect with, existence feels incomplete. Humanity evolved together for a reason. Cooperation allowed us to dominate the planet. Connection allowed us to thrive emotionally. Without that, even the strongest survivor eventually questions purpose. The world may continue. The stars may shine. The forests may reclaim the land. But meaning requires more than breath. It requires connection. And as the last person on Earth, you face one final question. Not whether you can survive, but whether survival alone is enough.